Hi dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to this Sunday edition of Cricket Happenings with the news that South Africa have bounced back big time in this particular test series, and they have leveled the series 1-1 today with a thumping victory over Australia by 231 runs. But what was very important was that considering the fact that tomorrow there is forecast for showers during the day, in fact I thought South Africa did a wonderful job, especially Dale Steyn coming in for a spell where he accounted for 3 or 4 wickets. In fact, Australia was set a target of 448 runs for victory, and they capitulated from a position of strength where the openers David Warner and Chris Rogers had given them a solid start with a score on 126 for no loss. And after that, it was a complete procession for Australia and a complete dismal batting display by Australia as they failed to challenge a score of 448, and they were all out with half an hour's play extended due to rain showers tomorrow, and that enabled South Africa to bowl out the Australians for 216, and that was all. So basically they just took 2 sessions and probably 10 minutes to bowl out the Australians for 216 and leveled the series 1-1 with the third one, which is coming up in Cape Town, which is going to be a real beauty as both the teams are locking horns at 1-1, and the third test match at Cape Town is going to be, according to me, is going to be a real beauty of a match as far as Australia and South Africa are concerned. So South Africa bouncing back big time in the series, and they did it in a great way. It's like avenging the defeat that they had at the hands of Australia in the first test match, and here in the second test match on a holiday, with a holiday crowd coming in. I thought the crowd had their real money's worth here with the home team South Africa defeating Australia. Well, so let's get on to see what exactly happened here on the 4th day's play here at the Port Elizabeth ground here in St. George's Park in Port Elizabeth. South Africa, as I said yesterday, Hashim Amlas resumed at his overnight score, and what was very surprising was that one probably thought there'll be a lot of sense of urgency as far as batting is concerned, and South Africa will be liking to get some quick runs, but we saw that the approach was not as what was expected, and Hashim Amlas and de Kock were at the crease, and Hashim Amlas, well, they took their time at the crease. Hashim Amlas went on to score his 21st test century, and what a way to get into some great form here for Hashim Amlas, getting on to his 21st test century. And the only wicket that fell today was Quinton de Kock, who definitely, after atoned for his failure in the first innings on debut, in the second innings making 34 runs with some nice shots being played by him, and Quinton de Kock was gone as he actually he tried to cut a ball from Nathan Lyon, the off spinner, and Clark in the slips took the catch. He was gone for 34, and after that, as I said, Hashim Amlas went on to just entertain and dazzle everyone with his wonderful stroke making, finishing on an unbeaten 127, his 21st test century with 16 fours. JP Duminy was not out on 18 of as many balls with 2 fours, and Graham Smith, the South African captain, applying the declaration just 20 minutes before lunchtime at the score of 270 for 5, thus setting the Australia a target of 448 runs to win. So let's have a look at the bowling figures for Australia. Johnson 2 for 51, none for 70 for Harris. The only wicket taker today was Nathan Lyon, who took that wicket of Quinton de Kock. Now, as far as Australia are concerned, now starts the real the real report, I would say, because Australia was set a target of 448 runs to win, and they had 2 days. But essentially, if you look at it, it really meant that with tomorrow's play probably definitely threatened by rain, it was very essential for Australia to really get things going, and that's what precisely the Australian openers did. Chris Rogers, especially David Warner, was very, very aggressive. In fact, he was aggressive right from the word go. As soon as they started, Chris Rogers and David Warner, it was everyone were, it was absolutely plain and simple. It was there for everyone to see that Australia had accepted the challenge and they were taking on the South Africans head on, South African bowlers head on. And David Warner was the one who really set the tone. In fact, Chris Rogers also played some very good drives down the wicket of the bowling of Dale Steyn. And then after that, David Warner was so severe, as I said, you could see the aggression really on their face as David Warner slammed Mone Morkel for 4 consecutive boundaries, and he also hit a 6. I thought it was the bowling of Duminy, if I'm not wrong. So this partnership was doing a great job, and suddenly the runs were really flowing for Australia. And in quick time, the Australian openers had put on 126 for the first wicket in 30 overs, and that was pretty good going. Almost it was some great going as far as the Australian openers are concerned. They were really setting up a solid platform here, well, everything was going well, and then finally Duminy was introduced into the attack, and David Warner was also dropped, but it didn't really matter to him, because the next ball he slammed it for a boundary, and that is how David Warner plays. And Chris Rogers was also cover driving superbly. And then JP Duminy was introduced into the attack, and JP Duminy was the one who really started this Australian slide. As first he gave them the breakthrough, and after that it was taken over by all the other bowlers, especially Dale Steyn, Mone Morkel and Philander, as Duminy trapped David Warner LBW with a ball that came in, which spun in, and David Warner was actually, what happened was Duminy bowled the delivery which actually got to basically straight, and David Warner was plumb in front, and he was gone. LBW bowled Duminy, but he has done the job. But unfortunately for Australia, that was the first wicket to go. But the breakthrough came in the 30th over in the form of Duminy having David Warner LBW for 66 of 73 balls with 9 fours and 1 6. A very aggressive innings from David Warner, setting the tone for Australia. But as I said, that was the thing. The Australia at a position of strength at 126 for 1. Now look at the procession that the Australians had. The next wicket to fall was Alex Doolan. Alex Doolan never looking convincing at the crease. He was really struggling with his timing. He was not. He was really searching for the ball, I would say. And finally, it was Dale Steyn, Vernon Philander, everybody troubling him, and then Mone Morkel getting him with Doolan actually edging the ball into Smith's hands. So he was gone for 5. So that was the second wicket for Australia, and Australia were 152 for 2. In walked in Shaun Marsh to join Chris Rogers at the other end. And Shaun Marsh, well, as you know, he hit a century in the first Test match, and this really will tell you why cricket is a game of highs and lows, as Shaun Marsh collected a pair, as Philander got a ball, which he had Shaun Marsh LBW for a blob, and Shaun Marsh bagging a pair in the second Test match. So he was gone, so the score was 153 for 3. Michael Clarke came in and joined Chris Rogers, who was standing firm at the other end. But Michael Clarke, well, he was not really able to get the ball off the square, and Dale Steyn produced a delivery which actually Michael Clarke actually played at it, and Michael Clarke got edge, and what a catch taken by Faf du Plessis at slip. It was such a difficult chance because the ball was just, I would say, just dying onto the ground, and du Plessis at slip actually dived in and picked up the catch inches off the ground, and Michael Clarke was a walker, and 156 for 4. Australia were really struggling. Suddenly the things were looking pretty bright for South Africa. After that, at the same score, there was one more wicket as Dale Steyn got Stephen Smith with a beautiful delivery. Now this was a delivery where reverse swing came into the picture, as Steyn got the ball to reverse swing, and Stephen Smith was in front of the stumps, so he was gone for a duck, and that made the score 5 for 156 for Australia. After that, Brad Haddin came in and joined Rogers, and Brad Haddin, well, it was in the next over. He survived for a brief moment there by making one run before Dale Steyn came in and produced a peach of a delivery. even though Brad Haddin was trying to play close to the stump, close to the ball, but there was so much of pace in the delivery from Dale Steyn that it snaked in between the bat and pad gap of Brad Haddin and went on to hit the stumps. And Brad Haddin was walking back to the pavilion, bowled Steyn for one, and Australia were really sinking at that particular time with the score on 166 for 6. This was the procession which was going on. Mitchell Johnson was ruled LBW, bowled Philander for 6 with 1-4, and the other end Rogers was, as I said, was still playing. In fact, he got on to his 4th Test century in fine style, and he was looking pretty good. I mean, he was doing his job. I mean, he was the one who was standing as far as South African victory was concerned. But definitely, if Chris Rogers could have got some support, things could have been pretty different. But that was not the case, unfortunately. Chris Rogers was watching everything happening in front of his eyes. Every time he was at the other end at the non-strikers, he was seeing an Australian wicket falling. Mitchell Johnson was gone for 6, and Ryan Harris was also dismissed. LBW bowled Dale Steyn for 6. Dale Steyn came into his real self there with that particular spell. And finally, Peter Siddle came in and joined Rogers. But unfortunately for Australia, Rogers, who had done all the hard work and was seeing all the wickets falling himself, was a victim as he was run out. A beautiful throw by Alvaro Peterson, catching Rogers off ground, and the ball had hit the stumps. And Chris Rogers, after making his 4th Test century, making 107, looked pretty compact at the crease and also played some very nice strokes, was gone for 107 with 12 boundaries. And finally, as I said, the half an hour's play was extended on the 4th day, keeping in view that the 5th day there could be chances of rain, and that really proved absolutely right, as South Africa got the final wicket. Now that was the time when the umpires actually told Graham Smith that I thought Rogers had actually objected to it, and the umpires told Graham Smith that the light was not good. If at all he wanted to bowl, he has to bowl his slow bowlers. So Graham Smith decided to hand the ball over to Dean Elgar, the left-arm spinner, and Dean Elgar, the left-arm spinner, got his first Test wicket, and that was the I would say the death blow for Australia, as Nathan Lyon was trapped LBW for a duck, and there was a sort of a real doubt whether the ball had actually hit the edge of the bat or not. One does not know. But well, as I said, there were no reviews remaining, and Nathan Lyon was walking after out for a duck. Peter Siddle at the other end was not out on 3. The Australian innings had capitulated from a score of 126 for 1 to being all out for 216, chasing 448, and then getting defeated by 231 runs margin. And not only that, also South Africa leveling the series, and what a way they have actually bounced back into this series. Now, as far as the bowling was concerned, Dale Steyn bowling superbly and really rattling the Australian batsmen with his pace and some serious reverse swing. 20 overs, 5 maidens, 1-4 for 55. Viron Philander absolutely on the mark. 17 overs, 3 maidens, 39 runs and 2 wickets. Morne Markel, as Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, said in the post-match press conference, that Morne Markel for him was somebody who was the best of the lot, even though Dale Steyn took the wickets. Was Morne Markel, as I said yesterday in my review, that Morne Markel was the luckless bowler, and Morne Markel was bowling with lots of pace and bounce, and he was a bowler, I would say, very unfortunate that he ended with 15 overs, 6 maidens, 1 for 46, but nevertheless he bowled superbly, I thought. Duminy, 14 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 33. Dean Elgar picking up that last wicket to get the South African victory. 7.4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 24. And the man of the match went to JP Duminy of South Africa. So now, finally, we will be looking at the Australia-South Africa 3rd Test match. You just see, this is a 3-match Test series, and what a nice way this 3rd Test match is really set up, with both the teams on 1-1, and they are heading on to Cape Town, such a beautiful ground, where Australia and South Africa are locking horns on 1st of March in the 3rd Test match. And what a match that is going to be. Well, so congratulations to South Africa for bouncing back into this series against Australia. And one more thing, The other thing, so for South Africa, I just wanted to tell you that they were absolutely crippled, I would say, because they lost, I thought, Wayne Parnell, who on his comeback got 2 wickets in the first innings, and after that one did not see Wayne Parnell. So that was a big blow for them, because Wayne Parnell could have played a great role in the scheme of things, but unfortunately he was not there. He couldn't take any further part in the game, which was a big blow. But considering that even Wayne Parnell was not available, I thought South Africa should be really commended for putting up a great effort here in getting Australia all out on the 4th day itself for 216. And well, Australia have to really see where they went wrong. If you look at the scorecard of 216, barring the openers Chris Rogers, who made 107, and David Warner, who made 66, look at the Australian telephone number. Doolan 5, Marsh 0, Clark 1, 5 0 1 0 1 6 6 3 0. So that is the number you get. So you can just imagine there are only 2 persons who actually reach double figures, and then we have a telephone number coming in all the way down to number 11, Nathan Lyon. Well, dear fans and subscribers, one can only say it was a great match. South Africa fought hard and really gave it back to Australia in this second test match. And as I said, the third test match at Cape Town is beautifully set up now at a beautiful ground here in Cape Town on 1st of March. Well, from here, I'm going to give you a little cricket update. Now, this is a match which is right now going on between Ireland and West Indies. As you know, this is the third one-day international which is being played here today at the Kingston, Jamaica. In fact, I can only give you a cricket update. Basically, you know, West Indies and Ireland have won each. I mean, they are right now level at 1-1 in this one-day series. Today is the last match at the Savannah Park, Kingston in Jamaica, and Ireland were the ones who batted first. They totaled 202 all out. They were all out for 202, and the feature being today Gary Wilson contributing 62 of 96 balls with 3 fours. Other than that, Porterfield showing some form with 25 of 34 balls with 2 fours and 2 sixes. 25 Peter Sterling failed with only 4 runs of 8 balls with 1 4. Joyce made 25, 44 balls with 2 fours. The O'Brien brothers, Niall O'Brien made 12 of 26 balls with no boundaries. Kevin O'Brien made 22 of 35 balls with no boundaries. So the O'Brien brothers not getting any boundaries in their knocks. Pointer was out for 3. Shane Thompson contributed a good 33 of 34 balls with 3 fours. And as far as the West Indian bowling was concerned, today Miguel Cummins came into the team, and he was making his ODI debut. And one is told that Miguel Cummins is a bowler who really packs a lot of pace in his deliveries. And Miguel Cummins bowled 6 overs, 1 maiden, 142. Jason Holder 9 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 34 for Jason Holder, who bowled well. Dwayne Bravo 9.2 overs, no maiden, 636. Darren Sammy 8 overs, no maiden, 1 for 29. Nikita Miller 10 overs, 2 for 30. Bowled his quota of overs absolutely economically, and 7 overs, 1 for 29 for Marlon Samuel. So West Indies right now absolutely on course as far as victory is concerned. Right now, I do see the West Indies are 160 for 3, and we are in the 29th over here at Kingston in Jamaica. Dwayne Smith and Kieron Powell opened the innings. They gave a very good start in reply to 202, which was a very, I would say, just not enough for Ireland, even though, I mean, just not enough as far as West Indies are concerned. And West Indies openers, the openers put up a very strong score on the board of just 17 overs, or 16.5 overs. They put on 100 for the first wicket, with both the openers getting 55 apiece. Dwayne Smith contributing 53 balls with 5 fours and 3 sixes. Kieron Powell is still there, undefeated right now, and right now facing the Ireland bowlers, he's not out on 75 balls with 7 fours. Chris Gale, unfortunately due to injury, couldn't play today. Kirk Edwards was run out for 2, and Dwayne Bravo was dismissed for 1. In fact, Darren Bravo was dismissed for 1. So Dwayne Bravo is right now there along with Kieron Powell. Dwayne Bravo is looking good, not out on 35 of 28 balls with 5 fours and 1 6. So that's the current situation. West Indies chasing 202, absolutely looking on course here at 160 for 3 in the 29th over. Let's have a look at the bowling figures for the Irish bowlers. as far as Max Sorensen is concerned, who is currently in charge of bowling operations. He has bowled 3.4 overs, no maiden, none for 33, has been pretty costly. Mustag has bowled 5 overs, no maiden, none for 32. George Dockrell has been doing his job in a pretty good way. The left-arm spinner, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 30 runs for no wicket. Peter Sterling also has bowled pretty well today, 6 overs, 1 maiden, none for 25. Kevin O'Brien, 3 overs for 18, and 4 overs, 2 for 17 for Shane Thompson. Well, what I'm going to do is, as long as my cricket YouTube broadcast is there, let me see whether I can give you some, probably some commentary. I'm trying to see whether I can do that for you. Well, if I can, I'll try to give you some live cricket updates as far as this match is concerned. Well, other than that, I'm just trying to see whether there is any cricket news that I can really talk on for you, dear friends and subscribers. Yes, you will all know the Under-19 World Cup is currently on, and unfortunately for India, India is already out. India, the defending champions, have been put out of the competition by England, where the match went down to the wire. And yesterday, after the West Indian batsman Nicholas Puran slammed 143 in a score of 207 odd runs, even then Australia beat West Indies and went on to the semi-finals. So Australia, Pakistan are into the semi-finals, and I think England are into the semi-finals. South Africa are into the semi-finals. So this is the semi-final stage as far as the Under-19 World Cup is concerned. Well, other than that, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you some live cricket commentary on the match between Ireland and West Indies. So with that, I will be concluding this cricket happening show of mine on a Sunday. Well, so West Indies currently the equation. Well, as I'm speaking, there is a wicket which has gone. Suddenly it is Max Sorensen, as I said, has been proving very, very costly as far as his bowling is concerned, has picked up a wicket. He bowled a fuller delivery just outside the off stump to Dwayne Bravo, and Dwayne Bravo tried to lock the delivery, but it was a brilliant catch which has been taken by the fielder there. I think it was Shane Thompson who took the catch. So Dwayne Bravo is walking back to the pavilion. Caught Thompson bowled Sorensen for 35 with 5 fours and 1 6. But, well, West Indies have nothing to really worry. Dinesh Ramadhan, the wicketkeeper, is walking in to join Kieron Powell, who is not out on 55 of 75 balls with 7 fours. And currently, the West Indies, I'm going to wind up this cricket happening show now. This last update coming in here from the Savannah Park, Kingston in Jamaica in the West Indies, where Ireland, after making were all out for 202, West Indies currently are placed at 161 for 4 in the 30th over. The required run rate is nothing to really talk about, just 2 runs per over, and they would be absolutely taking the match. So 163 for 4 is the current score. Dinesh Ramadhan is off the mark finally. He's not out on 1 of 5 balls. Powell is batting. Kieron Powell is batting on 56 of 77 balls with 7 fours. So with this cricket update, this is your host Ram, ending up the cricket happening show of this on a Sunday. So thanks for your company, and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram signing off on this on a Sunday. Thank you.